Hey YouTube, how's it going, guys? Jared Fuller here. Today is Sunday, May 26, 2018. It is the day before Memorial Day. So glad you could join me for another week of the Sunday video updates. And please, this weekend, if we could, remember why we're celebrating Memorial Day and why we're commemorating the soldiers who lost their lives fighting for our freedoms here in the United States of America. So please, if you could, just keep that in mind and keep them in mind and keep their families in mind, because really it's about them. And it's not just barbecues and traveling and swimming pools and all the good stuff. It is about remembering the fallen troops. So I hope all of you had a good week. I hope your Memorial Day weekend has been wonderful. Mine has been wonderful. Of course, Saturday always being the pick day of the week. And yesterday was another wonderful day. I got to see a Wilms warrior named Lauren Stansberry. Lauren, if you're watching this, I love you, and it was so great to see you again yesterday, and the entire Stansberry family. Love them. Taylor was showing me trying to show me some tricks on this stick with wheels on it. I don't know. It's not a skateboard. It kind of looks like a skateboard, but it's got a single wheel on the back and a single wheel on the front. And I told him, I said, well, you got to move your hips, so you keep your balance, And he says, well, move my hips. This isn't a hula hoop. I never said it was, but, you got to keep your balance. And, it was fun just watching him. And he was trying so hard, too. He was doing pretty good for the most part. We were out in the parking lot, and he was, on this board. I told him, you got to move your hips. And then he came out with that statement. But it was great to see the Stansberry family yesterday. Lauren and Taylor are twins. And then they have a littler brother named Hunter. Oh, he's a little stinker. I was outside talking with some friends yesterday, some acquaintances, and little Hunter come running out because we were at the church in Grand Blanc for a celebration for Lauren. No More Chemo celebration. And Hunter had come running out. He's probably, I think he's 4. And, so he's still a little guy. He's still a toddler. He come running out. And when he recognized who I was, his face lit right up. And I said, do you remember who I am? Yeah, which was cute. Good morning, Dad. There's coffee out there. If you want coffee, I made a pot. But he was like, yeah, it was cute. And I said, I asked him, I said, so what's your name? It's Hunter, right? And he puts both of his hands on his chest like this, and he says, my name is Hunter Stansberry. And we did the little fist bump, and I gave him a piggyback ride, so it was a lot of fun yesterday. And I just had a wonderful time, and I'm looking forward to seeing the Stansberry family again very soon. You okay? There's coffee out there. I made a fresh pot this morning. But yeah, Saturday was a good day. And we had some severe thunderstorms roll through our area last night. And the lightning display was fantastic. It was just totally awesome. I don't like thunderstorms. I'm terrified. I'm petrified of thunderstorms. But watching them from a distance, I'm good. And maybe the occasional rumble of thunder. The lightning was very, very frequent last night. And it was lightning inside the clouds. It was just awesome. And it was like a strobe light because it was like every millisecond, every microsecond. And, the lightning was that frequent. And it was just the coolest thing ever. Just to stand outside and watch the storm. Watch the lightning tear up the sky. And it was really ripping through the clouds. It was just the coolest thing ever.
There's trees down over by Jay's too, and wires
Oh, there's trees and wires down over by Jay's, huh?
across the road down by Jay's.
Yeah, because when you guys were in Owasso yesterday, I was down at the corner down here from my house, and the severe thunderstorm was coming through Midland, which is north of us, and you had the sunset over here, and the sunset blended. Ooh, my throat's scratchy. The sunset blended in with the severe thunderstorm cloud, the thunderhead. So it was really pretty to see it, really beautiful. But then the wind started to pick up, and that's all she wrote. It rained here very hard, and what you hear in the background is the fans because it's like really warm in here. And the fan behind me, which is what you hear, it's, it runs on a sensor, I think, or some kind of a time, every so often it'll come on, shut off, whatever. So I'll try my best to talk over the fan, making such loud whirring sounds. So we had a warrior pass away last week, one that I know of. I'm sure there were several more, sadly. But there's a warrior named Luke who passed away, and my heart goes out to the family, and it's hard. It's really sad. But my warm condolences and my heart goes out to Luke's family, and I just hope that they're able to adapt to this new normal that they have to live now. It's never easy. It's not something I really like to talk about, because I like to talk about triumph and warriors who overcome their battles. But this is part of that territory, and there's no territory in the childhood cancer community that remains unscathed. So, and this is one of those territories. So my love and my condolences and my sympathies go out to Luke's family. He was a trooper. He was a fighter all the way to the end. He fought tooth and nail. He was armed to the teeth. He was ready to beat cancer. And he did. He won. Because now he doesn't have to suffer anymore. So now he's at peace. I had some bird shirts mailed out last week for a warrior and his brother. They live in Norman, Oklahoma. And then another bird shirt went to a little boy, a warrior in Mesa, Arizona. So yeah, I'm still doing the bird shirts. And to reiterate, if I may, real quickly, because I talked about this in last week's video as well. There are parents who want to send me money for bird shirts. The answer is no. Keep your money. And this is why. There's a couple of good reasons that I can think of. First of all, because when I do the bird shirts, it's always out of my pocket, out of my heart and my pocket, and that's one of the reasons. Second reason being is because a lot of these kids are still battling, they're still fighting, and by the time something comes up where you desperately need the money, I don't want you to spend your resources on a t-shirt when you could be using those resources for food, lodging, for gas, for your cars. I don't want you to use your resources, your valuable resources, on something it's not a necessity. It's more like a gift. So I would much rather you hold on to your money for what's more important, which is your warrior. I will take care of the bird shirt. I will take care of the cost and however much it costs to have the shirts made and sent to you. I don't want you to reimburse me. I don't demand refunds or reimbursements. I never have. Since I started doing this, I've never demanded refunds or reimbursements, and I never will, because it's out of the kindness of my heart and it's out of my pocket. I know I don't have to do it, but I want to do it, because if there's one thing in this world that I love more than anything, it is to see children smile, especially cancer warriors. So leave that to Jerry Bear. I got this. So yeah, that's the only few things that I had to really talk about. Yesterday I got to see Lauren, and I had some bird shirts mailed out last week. And of course, Memorial Day weekend. And as I mentioned at the top of the video, we want to make sure that this weekend you can enjoy your swimming pools and cookouts and things like that. I'm not saying you shouldn't, and I'm not trying to lay a guilt trip. But the real meaning behind Memorial Day is to remember the fallen soldiers, our military personnel, those who fought for our freedom and sacrificed their lives for us and for the freedoms we have today. So really, I think that's what it's about. And, I just don't want anybody to forget that. I'm actually, I'm in a very good mood today. And a lot of it has to do with coffee. Oh yes, my Spartan Cup is back in action in my Sunday video updates. For those of you who have been longtime viewers of my Sunday video updates or my YouTube channel in particular, I always drink out of my Michigan State University coffee cup because my oncologists, my pediatric oncologists, are MSU grads. They have worked in the Lansing area for many, many years. Between my three oncologists, Dr. Scott, Dr. Guerra, Dr. Kulkarni, they have over 130 years combined experience in pediatric oncology and hematology. So this is one way for me to show my love and support to my oncologists, the people at Sparrow who saved my life. I'm drinking out of a Spartan coffee cup, representing Michigan State University. So this coffee cup is quite synonymous with my Sunday video updates. So if you are a first-time viewer, you're going to see a lot of this cup. And I promise, well, I can't promise, but I can almost guarantee you, or I can almost assure you, that you're not going to hear the sound of the fans in the background in every video or in future videos that I make. It's really still warm in here. It's supposed to be in the low 90s today. It's going to be a scorcher. I'm not a fan of this heat at all. I don't fare well in the heat or the humidity. And we're going to have the worst of both worlds happening today. I wanted to also mention that the fundraiser for Buddy Boy has closed. I will be delivering the donation jar to Buddy and his family maybe this Friday, because I get my check on Friday, and I want to make sure that I have extra money for gas, because I have other things to do, errands and such, and I want to include the delivery of the donation jar in my round trip of errands, if you will. I don't really want to make any special trips and burn gas, so I'm just going to wait until Friday when I get my check.
Not for $3 a gallon.
Huh?
Not for over $3 a gallon either.
Yeah, gas is over. It's because of Memorial Day weekend. It's because of the holiday. It's the Memorial Day always, for some reason, it makes the gas prices go up. We're over $3 a gallon. What?
Where's the worst out for government?
Yeah, it's over $3 a gallon. the gas prices are here in Michigan. And other states, I imagine it's probably much, much more. And for all my local friends who are watching this, don't forget that this weekend, town-wide attic sales in Chesaning, all through town. So if you've got a little cash in your pocket, make some pit stops. All throughout the village of Chesaning, town-wide attic sales. Yeah, everybody needs something. There was something else I wanted to mention, too. Of course, it was just in my head, and now I'm going to forget it. I suppose I could talk a little bit about... yes, GuideStar.org. That's what I wanted to mention, GuideStar.org. That is the website where you will find information regarding legitimate 501c3 nonprofit organizations and LLCs. Before you make a contribution to anyone, do your homework, do your research. Visit GuideStar.org. You will find all of the information you need right at your fingertips. And I will forever and a day endorse GuideStar.org because we have an issue with fraudulent people in the childhood cancer community, and something else I'm going to push and push and push and push until people get tired of listening to me talk about it. Because, I'm an overachiever. I aim to please. So you were driving home from Owasso last night. I'm talking to my dad off camera, by the way. You were driving home from Owasso last night, driving through the severe weather.
Yeah, I had to pull over the side of the road because I couldn't see nothing. Not bad out there. I couldn't even see the road.
Yeah, it was coming down here pretty hard.
It was wicked.
Yeah, the lightning especially. The lightning, it was like a strobe light.
And the wind.
Just nonstop.
The wind come up, we were off.
Oh yeah, the wind really picked up here too.
Rock and roll in my van.
Well, I think my van's washed. So, thanks Mother Nature for picking up the tab on that once again. Saves me some pocket change, But anyway, guys, I had written some new poetry. I had written another poem last week for a cancer warrior named Lydia. I have yet to add the poem video. Allergy season is in full swing. Last week I had to buy some chicken noodle soup and some Michigan-made Verner's ginger ale and some apple juice and grape juice. When my allergies start flaring up, I want to tackle it as quickly as I can because I have plans coming up. Oh yeah, I guess I can talk about my plans. I'm glad there we go. Now I have something to talk about. Ding! So June 10th, I will be in Eaton Rapids, Michigan. I will be joining my buddy Caleb. His mom and I were discussing this through text message. We're going to have like a little play date thing for him, And she wants a bunch of people to be there for him. I'm going to be there. I'm not going to miss that for anything. So that's on June 10th. On June 16th, I will be in St. Clair, Michigan for another fundraiser for Olivia Marks. She's a DIPG warrior. I've been invited to attend that event, and Olivia's grandmother had even welcomed me into her home so I don't have to drive all the way back to Chesaning in the middle of the night. I can stay at her house if I very well choose, and I'm really considering that. The 17th of June, I've been invited to an open house. My cousin Colin graduated just recently, and I'll be at his open house. And last but not least, on July 29th, I will be in Sandusky, Ohio, to meet up with another cancer warrior. His name is Finn, and getting to meet his mother, who we've been keeping in touch through email for quite some time now. We met one another on Facebook, the common denominator, of course, being childhood cancer. So they're planning a trip to Cedar Point, and she invited me to join them for dinner at a restaurant in Sandusky, Ohio. So, yeah, I've got a few plans coming up, a few important dates to remember. So, yeah, I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to all of it. And, there was one more. I've also been invited back to Lauren's house, Lauren Stansberry's house. She's having a makeover. Her bedroom is being made, they're transforming her room. And she's going to be going on a Make-A-Wish trip to, I think, Walt Disney World sometime next month. I think she said Walt Disney World. I'm sure I'll get corrected on that. But yeah, so there's all kinds of things happening, all kinds of things coming up, and I want to. I'm also wanting to do some traveling. I've been invited to Champaign, Illinois. I've been invited to. Actually, I had been talking with this warrior's mom for quite a while. They live in Grand Rapids. He's not been doing so well lately. His name is Connor. He's been very sick because of his chemo. He's not eating, and I think they had to put a feeding tube in. Don't mark my words on that, but I'm thinking that's what they had to do. They had to give him a feeding, or install a feeding tube. But he is a warrior through and through. I'm so looking forward to meeting him. And how could I have forgotten this? There was another, I had plans with some other friends that I've been talking to for a while. The Sanders family from Fenton, from Fenton, Michigan. They invited me to their house, and they want me to go on their boat with them because they live on a lake. So they want me to join them on a boat, and I'm so looking forward to that. So looking forward to it. So people want to see me. They want to meet me. Of course, my resources are very limited, so I have to, make sure that I have time for other people, and I want to meet other people, of course. And there's still people in all over America who want to meet me. So I'm becoming a bit of a celebrity of sorts, pseudo-famous, but these are people that I actually love and care about, and they love and care about me too. I'm almost certain they do. Otherwise, they wouldn't want me at their house. They wouldn't want to meet me. But I sure wish I were omnipresent, so I could, be in 1,000 different places at once. But that's not how it works. How about you, Dad?
I like to be in 1,000 different places at once, but I don't think you'd want to part me around.
So are you saying one of you is enough in the world?
Yeah. They don't need another one of me.
Well,
We're crazy enough.
It is crazy enough. We again, if you've been paying attention to the news, there's been another school shooting.
Yep, I see that.
In Santa Fe, Texas.
What is wrong with these kids?
What's
wrong with these kids? No, what's wrong with the parents letting them show them done at age 8 years old? Come on.
Well, it's
the 100 safety stuff.
It's
8 years old.
It's a much more complex issue than that. Which is why I don't really talk about it much in my Sunday videos, because of the fact that we have a right to bear arms, and I don't want to oppose anybody's constitutional rights, but at the same time, innocent people are dying. So it's a very steep.
Not guns killing people, it's people killing people.
That I agree with. It's not the guns, it's the person behind the trigger. People are killing people. And, you know, if you can believe this, and I had a very nice intellectual conversation yesterday with an 18-year-old at Lauren's little celebration yesterday. She made a very good point, and I agree with her. There are people in this world, deranged, mentally ill people, and I'm not making a broad blanket statement about all mentally ill people, because not all mentally ill people would do things like this. So I want to make that very, very clear that I'm not painting mentally ill people with a broad brush. I'm not doing that at all. But what I'm saying is that for anybody to want to kill anybody, for whatever the reason may be, that's a psychological problem. And yeah, I made a pot of coffee.
Okay, thank you.
My point is, and I agree with this young lady, if you are so mad at the world, if you are so angry and frustrated at the world, instead of killing innocent people, just kill yourself. You know, I mean,
just do yourself and don't do any other.
And I'm not saying that I'm not, you know, this guy who says, oh, you should, you know, commit suicide
Or just get help.
Yeah, get help. Maybe that was a bad choice of words. I don't condone or endorse suicide. But if you really get so bad to the point where you want to kill somebody, because a lot of the time, and we hear this a lot, where after the gunman takes out a bunch of people, then they end up turning the gun on themselves. You could have spared many, many lives, first of all, if you would have gotten the help you needed in the first place before you would carry out such an act of violence, a very gruesome, vicious act of violence. And it makes my voice crackle at the very thought of it. It's, you know, I can't understand that. Get the help you need, or if you are really so just angrily frustrated at the world, if you're not going to get the help, if you're going to skip over that part of getting psychiatric treatment, evaluation, or whatever, then just do yourself a favor and remove yourself from the world. Leave innocent people alone. And she's not the first person I've heard this from. I've heard that from several people. Before you kill innocent people, just do yourself in and get it done. And it's not in any way an endorsement of suicide. But come on. You know, good grief. The world is not fair to anybody. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to these two. It's not fair to anybody. Life doesn't give us everything we want. And life is just not fair. But you know what? I've lived I'm going to be 32 in July. I've been on this planet for a little over 3 decades. I've been through some of the worst things. I've seen things. I've heard things. I've even done things. This world is crazy. Life isn't fair. But the last thing I'm going to do, because I'm so mad and frustrated with the world, the last thing I'm going to do is open fire and kill random people, innocent people who did nothing wrong. And even if they did do anything wrong, that's no reason to want to kill. There's no one in life who is important enough to kill. And I understand that we have this issue, and I watch the news here and there, hit and miss. We do have this issue in America where we have people want to protect their rights to own guns because it's a constitutional right, versus those who just want to live. They don't want to go to school or anywhere for that matter and worry about, who's going to open fire on me today? Some stranger that I've never seen in my life. We've never bumped into each other, not to my recollection. And for some reason or another, He just wants to kill me. We should never have to worry about venturing off into a world where at any moment someone is ready to take us out. I mean, to me, that makes no sense. And like I said, maybe it was a bad choice of words for me to say, take yourself out, kill yourself. But I'm thinking in terms of, if you are that angry and frustrated at the world that you want to kill, then, they can still hear you, by the way. You're not whispering. It doesn't matter. But anyway, if you're that vengeful and you want to take somebody out, I mean, do yourself a favor and just, leave everybody else alone. So how are we doing this morning?
Rocky. I'm just waking up.
Because they try to keep their voices quiet and low enough but they can still, you guys can still hear them.
I'm not looking forward to this morning. I got to step inside a church.
And one thing I wanted to talk about for a minute is there was a death in the family.
Yes.
So we want to extend our condolences to Amy.
Thank you.
She was your aunt, right?
Yeah, Aunt Patty.
Her Aunt Patty had passed away yesterday. She was her health was very not good. It was going downhill, and about around 11 o'clock, I think it was, she passed away at a hospital in Grayling, Michigan. So we want to extend our love and our condolences to Amy and her family for her loss. And but it just reminds you of how fragile and delicate life really is. How instantaneously things can change. Which I think in part has a lot to do with my advocacy for awareness and funding for childhood cancer. Because childhood cancer is a murderer. I've heard that described in many different ways. Childhood cancer is a murderer. It is like the gunman who holds children hostage. That's one way of looking at it, because cancer is the gunman that can pull the trigger at any time. Luckily, some of us, most of us, are able to escape, that masked gunman, and many aren't. And so that's why I'm here advocating, not just for the survivors, but for those who have fallen to this. And I also met someone yesterday at Lauren's celebration. Her daughter, London, had passed away. She wasn't a cancer warrior, but she had went into cardiac arrest. This was on our local news, on TV5 News. So, Miss Eisenbeiss, if you're watching, I wanted to say that it was a pleasure meeting you yesterday. I'm so glad that we are now connected. And anytime you need to talk to me, you can, you have your ways of contacting me. We'll talk. If you just need someone to vent to, if you need to reach out to somebody, I'm always here for you. And I don't know if you had caught that on the news. A little girl named London. She's was a very good friend of Lauren's. She passed away. She went into cardiac arrest. She had heart trouble. And I talked to her mom yesterday. I got to meet her mom. And very nice lady. Very nice lady. She wanted to have a picture taken of me and her and Lauren together, and it just slipped my mind, and I totally forgot. And I feel like such a jerk because I forgot about the picture that she requested to have a picture taken. We will meet again. I'm very sure of that. Yeah, I know. They've got all this money and there's not enough being done. But we want to we were wanting to have a picture taken and oops, forgot. But that's okay. There will be another time. It won't be the last time you see Jer Bear. So is there anything you guys wanted to talk about? Because I think I pretty much got everything out into the open that I wanted to talk about. Although on second thought, Although on second thought, they may not have been able to hear you over the fan. But I guess we'll find out when I upload the video to my channel. Or when I watch the playback, because I have to do some editing. Dad says, "Good morning, America." So I have Charles Gibson sitting on my living room couch. You remember Charles Gibson and Diane Sawyer? Well, it was Charles and Diane were the hosts for Good Morning America. Yep. I tried to get Charles Gibson's autograph before he retired. I have Diane Sawyer's autograph. Didn't get Charles' autograph, though. He's enjoying his retirement. Or no, it wasn't. It was actually Charles Gibson and Joan London, I think, were the first hosts of Good Morning America. Joan London, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I remember Joan London. Uh-oh. My cup has a hole in it. Coffee's gone.
Would you like another cup, Jared?
Could you please?
Hey, you're welcome, sir. Yes, I can.
And my beautifully crafted Michigan State University coffee cup that I got from the Five Below store in Saginaw. But I saw the cup and I just had to have it because, you know, as I had stated at the top of the video, my oncologists are MSU grads, so I got to show my support in one way or the other. I have a MSU decal on the back window of my van, too. I got it from Walmart when I was in Owasso last month. We're out of creamer, I think. No, I just drink it black.
You just drink it black.
Yeah. I drink it straight black once in a while. But we're typically French vanilla creamer people around here in these parts. They got me hooked on French vanilla creamer because of the French vanilla cappuccino that I once had.
Got it. I know it's hot.
Whoa. Yeah, that's too hot. Right here will be fine. Then I'll just grab it from there. Thank you.
You're welcome, Jared. It may sound like a frog, but...
Yeah. I sound like a lizard, so...
Okay.
In fairness. You know, my Grandpa Fuller, your dad... and speaking of coffee cups, he tried to convince me. I remember this when I was a kid. My Grandpa Fuller tried to convince me, and you might remember this, Dad. He tried to convince me that there's such a thing as a left-handed coffee cup and a right-handed coffee cup. And it's like, well, there's only one handle, and even if there were two handles, yeah. How could there be such a thing as a left-handed or a right-handed coffee cup? Because even when I turn it, where it looks, you know, when it's the other way, the emblem still shows up. I think that was just an old wives' tale. It was an old joke. A left-handed coffee cup and a right-handed coffee cup.
They only knew your grandpa.
Yeah, it's like a coffee cup is a coffee cup. I didn't know that there was a coffee cup designed specifically for your left hand or your right hand, because you can hold a coffee cup with either hand.
Grandpa give that restaurant Hope down there the owner of it a coffee cup that has 3 handles on it.
3 handles?
Yeah. He
But
said,
you can pick it up from any hand, though.
See, you're 50 years old. You don't have to care what side the handle's on.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Junction of Hope. It is the first restaurant in the United States of America, the very first,
Well,
that employs special needs people. There's people over there, they have Down syndrome.
he's been on television.
And I got to tell you, they are the hardest working group of individuals I've ever met in my life. They are down to earth. They are just the sweetest people ever over there at Junction of Hope. And they are hard-working people. Hard-working people. I have lots of friends who have Down syndrome, and they're beautiful inside and out. They are beautiful people. Very, very are.
Yes, they are.
They are very beautiful people. I can speak correctly. But, you know, they're not apart from us. They are us. So
Regular people.
they're just like us.
Make an honest dollar.
Yeah, they're just like me and you. They are magnificent as anybody else. So, I did mention the bird shirts were mailed out last week. And this coming Friday, and I already mentioned this, but this coming Friday I'm going to be taking the donation jar over to Buddy Boy. When I get my check on Friday, I want to make sure that I include the drop-off in my round trip of errands that I have to do, because I have to go to Owasso anyway to pay my cell phone bill, and I have to pay my car insurance, and I gotta pay I gotta get the money orders for the light bill. Huh?
Bill day.
Yeah, bill day. But I was very pleased with our electric bill only being $88.67.
Yeah. Hey.
Hoorah! Because that one month, it was like almost $400.
Yeah, but Dad got after it too.
And my dad got irate with Consumers Energy. And it's because they put the new smart meters on. That's what we all were thinking. That there, well, actually, it wasn't that the thing? Because there was a glitch in the smart meter, and we were being overcharged. And it's like, well, then you're going to credit that to next month's bill because you're the electric company and you're not going to reimburse anybody their money. So,
From Michigan, they'll think they're smart meters.
yeah. But the thing is, too, because they're not going to reimburse you. They're the electric company. They're going to lose millions if they had to reimburse you. So what in turn what they did is they just credited the money, the remainder, the remaining balance to next month's bill, which should have lowered it, but I don't think it did.
But they'll be eager to shut your electricity off if you don't pay it.
Yeah.
There's no doing it right.
Well, you know, it kind of reminds me, too, and it's not just the electricity, but it reminds me of the water situation happening in Flint. They want to charge people for water use when they can't use the water.
Can't even drink it.
Can't drink it, you can't cook in it, you can't
Bathe in it.
You can't use it. So why do you have to pay for something you can't use? That's absurd. And the last time, at last check, I was watching the local news. I guess the state of Michigan was cutting off the free bottled water to the city of Flint.
Yep.
Why would they do that?
Yeah.
You're the government. You're supposed to be looking after your citizens.
Flint's going to be another.
Yeah, but you're supposed to be looking after your citizens. You're the state government.
It's all about the government.
Yeah, I know it's about the government, for better or for worse. And in this case, the worse. Because if you're going to stop people from having good quality water, even if it is bottled water, hey, water's water. You need it. You know? Yeah, I know. But I'm being serious right now.
I am too, that's funny.
No, it's a joke. But anyway, state government should be looking out for the residents. And I know I'm being naive and oh, Jared, you're so funny. Yeah, I know. But it just ticks me off because these people, the people who live in the city of Flint, they didn't ask for this water crisis, this water issue. And it has made national headlines. It's, I mean, the pipeline, the pipeline in Flint, the whole water system has contaminants in it from, I mean, it's just terrible. Nobody should have to live in fear of, oh, I drink a glass of water. No,
fear. That's what it is.
I just said that.
Yeah.
Nobody should have to live in fear constantly, daily. Oh, I want to drink water. Oh, now I might die from this.
Now they got lawsuits against
Really? Come on, Lansing. Shape up or ship out, because you have people in Flint, people that you're supposed to be helping. They wouldn't be protesting on your doorstep if you would be more active or proactive in tackling this issue. This isn't, in my view, this isn't a partisan issue. It's not a Republican or a Democrat issue. It is a human issue that needs to be resolved. And that was a good rant. And Dad was trying to throw in a joke, but I was in the middle of a good point here. My Uncle Danny, he got pulled over. He was coming down, this is a joke. I don't even think this is true. It's just I'm guessing it's just a joke. I'm guessing it's a joke. I'm guessing it's a joke because he got pulled over coming out of Flint. He was on I-69 coming through Genesee County. And he got pulled over for speeding. And cop says, well, you realize you were speeding. And, oh, I didn't realize that. Well, I just had a glass of Flint water. It must have been my lead foot. Which is an insensitive joke.
It is, but
it's funny, but it's not. I mean, and I don't think that really happened. I think it was just my jokester uncle. Yeah, humor really runs in the Fuller family.
Too much.
Try to make people laugh.
We do. We try to
make people laugh because of situations.
Speaking of laughter. I was at the No Mo Chemo celebration for Lauren yesterday, and she was sitting in a chair at the end of this. They had these long tables put together, and she was sitting in a chair, and I was kind of kneeled down next to her, talking to her. She was really happy to see me, by the way. When I came walking through the door, she's like, over here, She was really excited, and I was really happy to be there. But anyway, I'm sitting next to her. She's only 12. And I was talking to another gentleman who is a throat cancer survivor. And that beeping is going to drive me crazy. But anyway, I was kneeled down beside her. And I said, well, so you're only 12. And she says, yep. I said, so I'm already on my knee. I said, so in 6 years, because in 6 years you're going to be 18. I said, so I should get a head start now. And jokingly, of course, I said, Lauren, I said, will you marry me? She fell out of her chair laughing. Who's calling this early in the morning? It is 845-4565. I don't know who that is, but they're interrupting my Sunday video. How dare you? Push talk.
Hello?
What are you waiting for? You hear it ringing.
It's it ringing.
Okay.
Well, if it's not important, hang it up.
Some old lady.
Yeah.
Some elderly lady called.
Quit calling me.
Some elderly lady called and said, I'm sorry.
If you're not the ice cream guy, if you're not the Avon lady, leave me alone. but I don't buy Avon anyway.
And like he said, it was an elderly lady, so we give them credit.
Well, I mean, they're old and they probably don't realize which buttons they're pushing, and they call Jer Bear. Because, hey, I'm what even the elderly people talk about.
Something funny yesterday. Uncle Jim had his yard sale going, right? And
Yeah.
the lady come up there, she fishes round marbles, and she'll throw them in her like the flower thing that she got.
Yeah.
So he asked Uncle Jim, she says, do you have any marbles? He says, no, I lost them a long time ago, ma'am. And she laughed. She laughed, no. I said, no, but I got some flat ones. She goes, no, I want the round ones. I put them in my garden and, makes it look like they're snakes and the birds won't get them. But he told her, no, I lost mine a long time ago.
Well, here's something. I was at Frank's the other day getting the chicken noodle soup and the Verner's ginger ale and all the stuff I needed for my allergies. And I walked over to the liquor section, and I had taken a picture, and it's like, I actually what it was is I talked to one of the employees at Frank's. I said, I think your manager made a mistake. And he says, what do you mean? I said, because he put cough syrup over with whiskey. He says, he did? I said, yeah, I didn't know Jack Daniels made cough syrup. And, oh, I get it. I gotcha.
Well, at least they didn't put the hemorrhoid cream on the bathroom and the guy brushed his teeth and then...
Oh, yeah, that commercial where the guy accidentally, he coated his toothbrush. He caked his toothbrush in hemorrhoidal cream and started brushing his teeth with hemorrhoidal cream.
And he looks down. Oh, he spits it out.
No, just no. That's wrong.
Oh, that's funny.
That's something I see us doing to Dad.
It's funny, but it's
If you think about it. Ooh.
yeah.
Ooh, not good.
No thanks. I'll pass.
We'll try it on Dad one of these days, Jared, while he's sleeping.
It's already 7:15. I've been here almost an hour.
Yep, we'll brush your
my
tooth.
Brush your tooth. So this has been an interesting Sunday video update because I have Dad and Amy this week. For the past few weeks I haven't because I do these so early in the morning while they're asleep, and because my sleeping patterns have been crazy. But I'm working on fixing that, and I've also been wanting to set up an appointment with my family doctor to be put on some kind of a med. This depression, it's just not, I thought I could overpower the depression without the aid of medication, but
Therefore, I'll get help.
I'm not going to hurt anybody unless if I see someone hurting someone that I care about, then I might not be so nice about that. But all that aside, it's just the depression thing. With warm weather coming up, I haven't been out of the house much. Yesterday was actually the first in a while that I've actually went on a trip, like far out and abroad from Chesaning. And it was hot yesterday. It's supposed to be hot again today.
Then we got that storm last night.
It's 7:15 now. It's already 64 degrees.
Like I told you, I thought we went through a tornado.
But I think what's happening is cabin fever, which means that the weather's nice. What are you going to do? You're stuck in a house.
But we live in a house, not a cabin.
Yeah, but it's the term. We don't live in a cabin. We don't live in a cabin. He's right. He got me on that one. He got me there, Dad. But that's what's going on. It's cabin fever because it's nice out and you want to get out and enjoy life and you want to go places and do things and you just don't have the money. And, and it pales in comparison to, and I got to thinking about this the other day too. What about the warriors in the hospitals? They don't want to be in the hospitals.
No.
You know? They are experiencing something far worse than my minuscule cabin fever. That's why I'm not really, I don't make such a big deal about it, because I know there are people who are in much worse, much more dire circumstances. I almost forgot the word. And then there are people who have no home, and they're living in the streets, so, which is unfortunate. But anyway, I guess that's all I really wanted to talk about this week. And for those of you who are first-time viewers,
Dad says he's got a headache. His neck hurts.
oh, did you take your blood pressure pill?
No, I gotta take it. I'm gonna take it right now because of my cough.
No, you better take it.
I won't hold that.
Because I will go all Dennis the Menace on you, and I will get a slingshot, and I will...
Just my
And
neck.
I will also take mine this morning too, Jared.
I will be Mason Gamble, you will be Walter Matthau, and I will just slingshot that pill down your throat.
Okay, we'll let you.
Just my neck from my back.
Yeah, I know. My dad has deterioration of the spine,
I got
spinal sclerosis. He got hurt at work, so he's had this back issue for quite a long time. Yeah, about 10 years, I'd say about 10 years.
Yeah, retired.
Yep, so Barkley got me up at 4 o'clock this morning to be let outside.
He has no potty. He's a good dog. He knows what's on the floor.
And I'll give him that. He's not defecating on the floor. I'll give him that. But it's 4:30 in the morning. Even I don't get up to go to the bathroom at 4:30 in the morning. Unless, of course, I get thirsty in the middle of the night. I mean, if I get up in the middle of the night, dry throat or whatever, cold sweats because it gets so hot in here, I'll get up, get a drink, go to the bathroom, go to bed. Lay back down. That was my dog Scruffy that you heard.
Yeah, he's playing with my old glove. You gotta have something to play with.
He's a turd meister. But anyway, YouTubers, I guess I'm going to wrap up this video for this week's. This was a pretty good video. I think it was fairly good, with the assistance of my dad and Amy, who are never seen, hardly, rarely. They are off camera. They're sitting on the couch, listening to me blabber and flap my gums.
No, it's interesting to listen to you.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not that interesting. I don't-
Some of the stuff you talk about, Jared, yeah.
Only in America.
well, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not.
Play chick.
Yeah, okay, but I don't think I'm that.
Truly not.
I don't think I'm that interesting. I mean, I speak truth about a lot of things. I bring a lot of issues to the table, especially when it comes to childhood cancer, when it comes to frauds, when it comes to lots of things. It's, I just speak my mind. And I know I'm wrong and incorrect about a lot of things, but what, being outspoken?
Something to say it like I did last night.
I got a backbone. That's, and I have a voice. I have a big fat advocate mouth.
Like I did last night. Oh boy.
Oh, yeah. We heard you all the way.
But anyway, my big fat advocate mouth is going to continue drinking out of my big fat coffee cup. And I hope you all have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Dad, is there anything else you want to say?
Yes, have a nice afternoon. And enjoy your Sunday.
And have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend.
Yep.
And let's not forget our fallen servicemen and women. they gave the ultimate sacrifice. They sacrificed for our freedoms. And Dad, you were a soldier
Yep.
in the United States Army.
Trumpy, Barkley, come on.
And my Uncle Tim was also a soldier in the United States Army.
No, won't let him.
Okay, boys. Okay, boys.
Hey,
Barkley,
Barkley
Scruffy.
wants out. Scruffy won't let
come
him.
here, Barkley.
All right, boys.
Come here, Barkley.
That's enough.
Go
Barkley,
through,
come
Barkley.
on. Come on.
Go.
Come on, buddy.
Go to Daddy.
Anyway, I'm going to wrap up the video right now.
Go to
So,
Daddy.
much love to all of you. Much love and peace. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching.
He